A couple errands this afternoon, and in the parking lot, I heard a couple people say it was hot, and I thought, oh, just wait.
Oh, yeah, just wait. This is nothing, Stacy. We are going to crank it up. We had another great night last night. Look at these morning temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. A couple spots in the low 50s up a little further north. But tomorrow morning, upper 50s, low 60s, and then after that, we are going to get hot. And that's going to be, I think, one of the big issues here over the course of the next week. We're not going to get much relief at night. We may barely drop below 80 degrees by Monday morning, and it has been 2.5 weeks since we've been above 80 degrees lately. So we are really in for one heck of a change here. Monday, first alert day for the dangerous heat and humidity. Our heat index 105 to 110, and here you go. This is our futurecast for Monday. 107 Owatonna, 106 in St. Peter, Waseca, Mankato, 107 Blue Earth, Forest City, and Algona. So we're talking some pretty obnoxious heat here across most of central southern Minnesota into northern Iowa. Actual temperature 98 on Monday, and there could be some places, especially a little further south and east, that get to 100 degrees. And this is all part of the pattern change. The last couple weeks, we've had kind of a westerly Pacific flow. The jet stream has been to the south. We've had Canadian air that's been very pleasant but unusual for this long of a stretch this time of year. And as we take you through the weekend, you're going to notice, especially starting tomorrow night, how that humidity creeps up. And by Monday, that jet stream is going to build, and we're going to see this bulge, this ridge develop, and we're going to have a big heat dome sitting over the eastern U.S. And look at this. We go through almost all of next week, and that trend is going to continue. So we're going to start hot on Sunday, and we are going to stay hot through most of next week into the 4th of July. And with that, there will be a few thunderstorms. Look at the severe risk for Saturday, far western Minnesota. On Sunday, parts of central, western Minnesota. And then as we head into Monday, we're watching the possibility of a few more isolated strong storms. Now, there will be isolated scattered depending on whether or not we can break the cap, which is that warmer air aloft. And if we can get through that, we will have plenty of heat and fuel, that heat and humidity to fuel those storms. So stay with us and keep that First Alert app handy through the weekend. 60 tonight, tomorrow. Still not bad. It's going to be a little warmer and a little more humid with a high of 82. And then here we go. 87 Sunday, some scattered thunderstorms Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. Nighttime thunderstorms, brutally hot. Tuesday is going to be warm, too, and we're going to keep scattered thunderstorms with highs in the 90s, heat index close to 100 through most of next week. Got a break? We'll be back right after this.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Northern Comfort, celebrating 50 years serving the man.